are back. Welcome back to Words with Wayman. I'm your host, Matt Wayman. Very excited to be back. This is going to be episode 5, or 4. Yeah, episode 4. We're coming in hot with our special guest and also father of mine, Kevin Wayman. Thank you for coming back.
You're welcome.
For part 2, when we just left off, we're just going to hop right back in it, because if you jump into a part 2, then you're probably going to listen to the part 1 before anyway. This is part 2. We were talking about you being at a law firm as a partner and not feeling taken care of as a lawyer there.
Well, I think it was more that I don't think my talents were being appreciated. The other two lawyers there, they weren't pulling their weight, and I was a little bit frustrated with that. So, and that frustration lasted for a while. I mean, I guess I could have dumped out of there, but
you also had, it's a stable income. You knew it was going to be there for a while. You knew your partner, so your profit share, and then you had 4 boys.
I had 4 kids,
which will keep you away from taking any big leap.
That's right. So there's a lot of risk involved.
Because at that time, our mom had been back to work for a little bit towards the end of this, correct?
Right. And so her earning potential or earning actual has gone up remarkably in the last
she's killing it. She's
4 or 5
nailing
years.
it.
She's killing it.
She's crushing it.
I like to call her a good earner.
Yeah.
Okay. You always want to look for that good earner.
She's
an earner.
She's doing great.
Yeah. And so, but prior to that, she did well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the primary burden was on me. So
of course, yeah.
I didn't want to take that risk and dump out and then have a.
Because there's a lot of insecurity. There's not like an NDA, but there's when you take the clients that you had at that and go to something new on your own, you have to pay them a royalty. You have to give them money back.
Correct.
And then create a completely new clientele.
That's true. And so at the point that this is probably maybe 8 years into the partnership, we still had good advertising product. It was still worth my while to hang there.
An advertising product you're talking about where you're placing your advertisement to get clients?
Correct. And so, but after about 10 years, I would say, I became, I'd say 95% referral based. So most of my clientele came by referral.
Yeah.
And so my personal referral, not necessarily from any advertising product. So now the expenditure to that of the firm became a high cost for me because I wasn't using it.
So then all the money that you're making them isn't really coming. It's coming out of your pocket primarily. Well,
I'm supporting 2 other lawyers.
Yeah.
With the income that I'm bringing in. So then I started thinking, well, this is just not working the way I'm looking for it to work. And then
so you finally got out of there.
Things got kind of weird.
Yeah, it got really weird at the end.
Yeah, it got really weird. It's like,
which everything does. I mean, that's 10 years with like people, and you said you're 4 years out. That's like, not being too far out of law school. Like you're still pretty new, and then by the end of 10 years, you're like pretty much formed as a lawyer. You're probably going to be.
Well, it was 15 years when I took the jump. So.
Yeah.
So it got weird, like a shitty marriage goes downhill.
Oh yeah,
it's like there's feelings and emotions, and not necessarily from me, but from the other guys, feeling as though I was not a team player. Well,
yeah.
And so
I mean, I've always done individual sports myself, so
yeah, it's really good.
Your feeling is correct.
Really got weird. So we were having some money issues at the firm, and so at the point that I decided to leave,
because you put all this money out for promotion, and then if you don't get it back,
right?
I mean,
and so I went in and I had a meeting with the 2 guys, and I said I acknowledged the fact that we have money problems, and quite frankly, it wasn't from my production; it was from their production. But I said, but I have the solution for you guys, and they were all excited. What's the solution? I said, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
they were like, really? I go, yeah, I'm out of here. You guys can handle this on your own. I'm done.
So what happens when you do that? You just basically you lose any. You're just done, and then you pay them a certain amount of money for a certain amount of time?
No, what happens is prior to my meeting, I sent out letters to all my clients. I had about 350 clients. I sent letters out to them saying that you have the option to stay with me because I'm leaving this law firm, or stay with the lawyers that you know nothing about. Mm-hmm. Never met them, never had any connection with them. Shockingly, 100% came with me.
Crazy, that's weird.
That's weird. So then those letters were out there, and then so I take all those clients, but then have a requirement, a duty to pay back a portion of the fees and the expenses back to the old law firm.
So you support them for a little while longer, and then you get to do your own thing.
Yeah.
And
so that worked out very well.
It seems like ever since then you've been a lot happier, and at least
it's a much cleaner practice.
I feel like that's the dream though, to work for yourself though. Finally, I mean, especially when you're that seasoned.
Yeah, I could I have done it sooner? Potentially.
But it was the risk, and
I think the risk was saying.
And we got pretty sweet Monday Night Raw tickets a lot. Whenever we came to
we did. Yeah, we went,
pretty much. It was money and Monday Night Raw.
Listen, that was the shit right there, man. Going to see WWE wrestling
we got the dopest tickets. I was once allowed to eat enough toasted ravioli in a box seat to throw up, and then finish the rest of the toasted ravioli at a game we went.
That's my ultimate favorite memory of that event, other than the midget wrestlers before. I was like on all over.
that was bloated. Because they never showed that on TV.
They don't.
Before they don't. But there's several. There used to be at least.
Yeah, I think the midget wrestling or little people, I'm not really too sure now because
they called it Mini Night Raw.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Monday Night Raw Junior.
I mean, they just move so fast and they're
so quick.
Cool. I love watching.
Triple backflip off the top.
Come on now.
The second.
Come on now.
We'll take that. But that is the dream, to be out on your own doing what, working for yourself and not having to answer to other people, especially when you feel resentment towards probably those people a little bit.
Yeah, I think I kind of stowed that away, or just let that go, because that really is unproductive,
Oh, it is. It'll kill you on the inside too.
Yeah. So I think that lasted until we had the settlement of the lawsuit I had to file against them. So I had to file a declaratory judgment against them to get them to the table so we can discuss issues that were coming up because of the parting of our ways. And so,
which is crazy, because that's what you got into the business as, doing law, and then it's
yeah. So they were not so communicative, and it's very frustrating. But so I filed this declaratory judgment action, and we reached an agreement in mediation with it, which was
which is what they like to do.
Well, of course. So it was very favorable for me, and so.
So you had to out-lawyer him at the end.
I think I did, really.
You had to just take him down.
I don't want to boast.
No, they're listeners of this podcast too. So they are. I hope they don't.
I hope they're out there listening, because I still appreciate them. I still consider them as ex co-employees.
Yeah.
So yeah, hey,
And I mean, they were good. I mean, it's one of those things where, it is unhealthy to hold things back afterwards. And you're so happy now that what does it even matter? It's all water under the bridge, that you couldn't be where you're at now if you've not gone through those experiences.
That's true. So I hold no resentment.
And those Monday Night Raw tickets.
I mean, if you want to put a value on
dope.
that, they're priceless.
I consider Monday Night Raw half my childhood. So at that point, it is pretty much all of it. Because that's kind of like, so now you have more, you don't have to, I mean, you do a lot of pro bono work, right? I mean, I know that you used to in the past and have done throughout your career a decent amount to just help people out, or even, doing discounted rates and stuff. Yeah,
well, pro bono I do on a weekly basis, because I represent a large contingent of Arabic people that have come to our country either through refugee status or otherwise.
Which a lot of people don't know. They have a lot of trouble finding people to represent them, right? I mean, and if it's not like one of them that comes up and goes through law school and then represents a lot of the big population of them, they do have trouble finding representation from what.
Well, primarily because they don't have like the wherewithal to pay. So they could get the best representation if they have the money.
Yeah.
But these folks have been brought to our country on a refugee status with literally, the clothes on their back. They've got nothing else. And so I appreciate that, and I help them with various things, from visiting visas for their family to come over, to help them with interacting with the state programs and state government, and so,
because it's so different from where they come from too. And I mean, it's just one of those things that they don't know about, but you know a lot about.
Yeah, and I'm impressed with how they're able to interact And I kind of flip the coin and think, well, what if I had to go over to their country and interact in their country? I believe I'm pretty well educated, but I'd be screwed.
Well, absolutely. I mean, coming over, not speaking the language, English is one of the hardest languages to learn right out the gate, just to be very overwhelmed by that.
But now try to learn Arabic and interact with their country. I would probably be that street bum, just barely making it. I mean, I would have a hard time, I think. And so I take that to
You do look good in flowy clothing, though. I mean, if there's anything to be said about looking good in very flowing robes.
I do wear the burqa around.
You do. He does. He rocks a burqa. That's just an advertising tool these days. Come to me. It's printed with this phone number on it. It's very... But I mean, it has to. I mean, if why you got into the business was to help people, I'm sure the pro bono work just feels great, and also because I remember at Christmas we would just get all sorts of crazy treats from all sorts of people, just a lot of just crazy ethnic desserts and holiday treats and stuff like that. And
that's true. They're very, very appreciative people. They're very family oriented, and so they consider me as kind of an extended family for them.
Well, I mean, when you do, you help somebody out that nobody else wanted to help or didn't even think. I mean, there are people out there that are doing similar things, but I mean, it's just not as well embraced as it probably should be.
I think so. And so to the point where just at the Ramadan was last month, and so at the last Sunday of Ramadan, one of my clients for a long time invited me over for dinner. So I went in, and there were like 20 men, no women, because I think this is just a guy thing. So
I would think so. At that point,
yeah,
you nailed it.
Yeah. So they put me at the head of the floor because we ate on the floor, and it was a remarkable time just to interact with them. They were very inquisitive and very nice. It was a very cool thing.
That's awesome.
I felt honored. Yeah,
and for them to invite you into their home for such a special occasion.
I agree. Yeah,
and just to share their culture with you.
Yeah, and the food was awesome too.
Yeah, I'm sure the food was pretty.
Brought some of that home and crazy good.
Take this to go.
Yeah.
That's awesome, but I mean, you wouldn't have done that if you wouldn't have done something else for anybody else.
That's true. Out of the 20 guys, I probably know half of them because they were past clients from various things, and so they were very shocked and surprised and happy to see me. So very, very cool.
That's really cool. That's kind of a thing that I didn't know what you did.
Never talked to you about that.
That's one of the things we have not talked about, which is that's kind of a cool thing because I mean, from what I guess the last thing, we've got 3 or 4 minutes left. I guess the last thing that I want to kind of talk about is starting off. When we started off, we lived in an apartment, not like a good apartment really, just kind of an apartment. One apartment we lived above a mafia hitman that was in the witness protection program. We didn't start off that good. I feel like you guys are at a really, really good place now. So I guess talking about almost coming up in classes a little bit from where we started, and you guys always took it in stride. And
we were kind of always behind the financial 8 ball, but no, we chose that apartment with the hitman. I knew the hitman was living.
Why they put that into the paper, I don't know, but they put it into the paper. It was so cheap.
Came there, said it was great.
Dude in the witness, that'd be such a St. Louis thing too that they probably would put in the paper.
Yeah. So no, that guy came in on us. We had been there for a number of years. You were born in that apartment that was in Clayton.
Yeah, we didn't go to hospitals.
And just on the floor. It's
expensive.
Awesome. Yeah,
shea carpet.
Spin cycle. There you go.
That's why I love shea carpeting.
So no, he came in on us, and but he's a guy that I tell you, there's no guy that in a witness protection plan that I've liked more than him.
Yeah.
So he held you up on his
Billy
shoulder.
Beatty, he's a hitman for the West End mob.
I think he overemphasized his importance. But,
nice.
Cool guy.
He killed some people, so that's the one thing that I want to hold on to is the fact that he killed a bunch of people. But I mean, we were living in little apartments, rented houses, all of this stuff, and now just looking back, I mean, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it stressed you out a lot of times. But I'm sure you took it in stride. But how do you feel now, looking back on coming up and just kind of now being able to do kind of the things that you want to do? And
yeah, it's a good point because it's always
buy stuff you wanted to buy.
It's always been a struggle. Each additional kid,
Because it's a number. I'm sure when you like the first when you hear about a kid, you're like, oh my god, it's a number at that point. And then you're like, you meet the kid.
yeah. Another child. It's
pretty
like,
cool.
holy shit.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's like I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the experiences we had, but it's always kind of like one more kid, one more mouth, need more room. Need one thing after the other.
Needs, not wants.
Yeah, it's not wants. It's always needs. It's tuition. It's food. It's water. It's like
It's everything.
It's like
Yeah. And now it's.
Well, I know that occasionally you went to school nude, and
I did.
apologize for that.
It's my thing.
Because we didn't have the money.
Became my thing. I got a modeling career out of that.
So
It's a
there's
Little
always
Boy
the
Monthly.
need. So
Still
but
love that
then-
magazine.
But then looking back, I guess it's yeah. I mean, we've been able to just hold serve, and then now it's starting to come back around where our expenditures are starting to diminish a little bit more, to where we have the ability to think about wanting and not just needing, and that's really. That's. I mean, we're close to
It's a great
60
place.
years old, and it's like
Yeah.
we're finally getting to the point where we could start thinking about wanting. Now, I'm not saying I'm destroyed about that or mad about that. I think there's some people that don't get to that point ever.
Which
you
is
know?
which I would, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like a lot of people struggle until they retire, until they're completely done, and that would feel.
Would that suck? You work all your life,
And then still never have it.
Yeah, then you retire, and then you do one of two things. Maybe you don't have enough money to retire, or maybe you die.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the worst situation ever.
That
right?
would be to never be able to truly enjoy what we're here to enjoy.
But see, then I think you have to really define what you want. And I think there's things that I want materially, but those are kind of like bullshit. I think what I really want.
They don't truly make you happy, but
No,
I mean they're cool.
They're cool. It's people think you're cool, and if that's what you want to do, that's awesome. But that's not what I want. I want to have time to explore, who I am. And to explore exactly what I can achieve spiritually, intellectually. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I think if you're looking for all those, you should probably just maybe just start your own podcast. Maybe all the answers.
Either that or just I want to do a lot of acid.
Yeah, I got some acid for you in my bag.
Okay,
I'll hook you up with that in a minute. Well, that is it. We're getting down to the end of it. This is going to be a little bit longer of a second episode, but you got to let it run because I'm hanging out with my pops, and I've been learning a lot about him. I want to thank you for doing this.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
I feel like this is one of those things we should do every year, and then maybe next year we'll do it on acid together. Wouldn't that be weird?
I'm in.
I mean, that is a verbally binding contract. It's probably not. He's a lawyer. That's
Can't tell your
probably not.
mother that though.
You're gonna take me. She's a firm listener as well. But I want to thank you guys for listening. If you want to hit up our backlog episodes, that you can catch them on agency.com /podcasts. If you want to hit us up on Twitter, we are at Words with Wayman, and we will see you guys soon. And thank you so much for listening.